Welcome back for day 8 of 10 solos in 10 days. Today we have a solo from one of my favorite bands, Opeth. This is the big long solo at the end of the song Windowpane from the album Damnation. This is a very simple solo, but it has a lot of really neat ideas, so let's get into it. This solo is in standard tuning, but the song is played with a capo on the 2nd fret. If you watch some live videos, you see Mikkel playing with a capo on the 2nd fret, specifically for the rhythm parts. There is one note in the solo where he plays the 2nd fret of the A string, so with a capo that would technically be an open string. I'm not using a capo here just because it wasn't necessary for a single note. If you are playing the entire song, including the rhythm parts, and you're playing with the capo on the 2nd fret, you'll need to play that one note open. The rest will be as written. This solo is over a very simple chord progression that repeats 4 times. We're in F sharp minor. Chord progression goes F sharp minor to D major 7, and then again. Then we get this move. There's 2 ways you can look at this chord, either as E sharp diminished, your leading tone chord in F sharp minor, or as a C sharp 7 in first inversion. So our 5 chord in first inversion. I think the voicings make it sound a little bit more like the diminished idea, but these 2 chords function exactly the same. They function as leading tone chords to our 1 chord, or very similar sounds. And in the solo, he's not even really hinting at either of those chords. He never plays an E sharp anywhere in the solo, even though this chord is coming right from that harmonic minor sound. He sticks all in natural minor the entire time, and over that chord he's playing other notes, like he plays a B or a C sharp, other notes that land in that chord but not the E sharp. So this solo is entirely right out of your F sharp natural minor scale, even though there is some harmonic minor happening in the chord progression. This solo is in 6/4 or 6/8 depending on how you want to count it, and Opeth uses compound meters all the time. Compound meters meaning meters that are grouped in groups of 3. I actually did an entire lesson a few years ago on the use of compound meter in Opeth's music. They use it all the time. It's a big part of their compositions, so definitely worth checking out that lesson if you want to dive a little deeper into Opeth's rhythms. A lot of the rhythms in this solo are these dotted quarter notes. If we're in 6/4, we're going to get this 2 against 3 idea. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 1, 2. So that's a 2 against 3 rhythm, a very simple polyrhythm, but it sounds really nice here and creates a little bit of syncopation. So the beginning of the solo uses that rhythm right away. Incredibly simple. I'm playing this entire part on 1 string, and the second part of the solo is actually exactly the same as this, with a few differences in articulations here and there. So we start on the 4th, or the 11th of our F sharp minor, then the 3rd of D major 7, and then the 5th of D major 7. A lot of chord tones here. And then there's this part. This is where our E sharp diminished chord comes in. Playing the flat 5 of that. All chord tones. And then that same part happens again. And then in the second half of the solo, it ramps up. So here, some pentatonic ideas. And then the G sharp. And that's happening over this D major 7. So that's a sharp 11. And we have this run. Very simple, right from the scale. There's a number of runs in this solo where the bends are incorporated into them. Then there's this run. Basically pentatonic with that added G sharp. Then comes the part that would be played with an open string if you were using a capo. There. And then again. I'm fretting it down there just to show where the open string would be. And that's the 3rd part of the solo. And then the final section of the solo looks like this. So even more movement there, really building this solo to the end. You have this big bend up in this F sharp minor pentatonic box. All pentatonic up to that point. And then there's this nice double slide, which is a really interesting, very expressive technique. We're going to slide with our ring finger, do the same slide with our index finger, a double slide. It's a really expressive idea you can do almost anywhere. From here we get this run. And then the final run of the solo. Nothing too crazy here. What's really nice is all the slides and bends added here. They add a lot of flavor to a pretty basic sounding line. In a simple solo like this, the details matter so much, even more than they would in a really shreddy solo, because in a shreddy solo, all this stuff's going to pass by really quickly. So if you do a hammer-on instead of picking, or you sweep instead of alternate picking, whatever, that kind of stuff doesn't matter as much because you're playing so fast. In a simple solo like this, all of these details are really amplified, and they can add a lot to the solo if you do them right. So if you're writing something like this or covering something like this, really, really pay attention to all of the tiny little details. They make a massive difference. There you have it, a simple but very effective Opeth solo for day 8 of 10 solos in 10 days. I'll be back tomorrow for day 9, but if you enjoyed this lesson, subscribe, hit the bell notification, like, comment, share, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Until then, stay proggy.